throughout the presentation, and I like it if people talk to me, otherwise I feel lonely. So welcome to this workshop on stop caring what other people think. So the agenda tonight, I'll talk a little bit about me, what my story, and why I started looking for ways to stop caring what other people think. And then we're going to look at what causes us to worry about what other people think of us. Then we're going to look at how we can stop caring what other people think of us. We're going to have a little hypnosis session. And at the end, if you've got any comments or questions, you can ask them to me at the end. So, about me. Okay, so I'm a hypnotherapist, a life coach, a master practitioner of NLP and mindfulness. And for me, my journey started in 2015. Prior to that, I was quite troubled. I suffered a lot with flashbacks, paranoia. I was very emotionally dysregulated and I couldn't function very well. So first of all, I started looking to spirituality for the answers and started taking an interest in mindfulness. And then after that, I started studying NLP, cognitive behavioral therapy, hypnotherapy. And in 2019, I was announced the best hypnotherapist in Windsor, which is in Berkshire. So, why I had issues with worrying what other people thought of me. So, I always say everyone's doing the best they can with what they have. But I grew up in a dysfunctional family. I was surrounded by narcissistic individuals, and people who are narcissistic tend to split, and they have a lot of toxic shame. It's a generational trauma. They've been targets of narcissistic abuse themselves, and they split and project these disowned parts of themselves onto other people. They say if you want to know what a narcissist's doing, look at what they're accusing you of. So as a defenseless child, that target was me. I was the scapegoat and black sheep of the family. And as such, I was subjected to quite severe verbal and psychological abuse. And as I said, when we grow up with dysfunctional families, we learn to split. We learn to feel ashamed when we need help, to feel when we feel angry, assertive, sad, fearful, sexual, or even joyous. We become cut off from vital parts of ourselves, and these disowned parts get projected onto other people. So if we're in the developmental stages of our lives, we're forming boundaries, we're learning about ourselves and our environment. And if we're constantly being put down, shouted at, physically abused, we internalize that abuse and we think it means there's something wrong with us. We internalize the parent and we develop an inner critic, a toxic inner voice that attacks us and continues attacking us for some people long after the abusive parent or family members are dead. So question, What causes you to worry about what other people think? Let me know in the chat box. Being judged. Yep. Happy New Year, D. You let others get to you. Yep. 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 Triggers anxiety. Yes. Yep. Fear of not being accepted. Yep. Yep. Okay, so yep. Okay, so my definition of negative self-talk is in a dialogue that you have with yourself. It can limit you. Yep, fear of not being good enough. Absolutely. But where does that fear of not being good enough come from? Where does that fear of not being accepted come from? We're going to come to that shortly. Yep. Okay, so negative self-talk can limit you. Yes, the media as well, yeah, and social media. When we see other people posting, you know, what they've got going on, they're only posting the best, you know, the things they want you to see. Yep. Peer groups, yes. Okay, so it can limit you. It can limit your ability to believe in yourself. It can stop you reaching your goals. It can keep you stuck. It can insult you, cause you names, cause you to feel anxious, tell you you can't do things because you're useless, etc. Again, yeah, that's what my inner critic used to do to me. And I used to get paranoid that other people were thinking these things about me or saying these things about me. Sometimes I'd even imagine them. Yep. Sometimes I'd even imagine them saying things about me. And I'd visualize all these kind of things in my head, and it'd make me feel very bad. So the inner critic can cause you to be codependent. It can cause you to be a people pleaser, a doormat, to have a lack of boundaries. It can keep you in abusive situations and relationships. So the different kinds of negative self-talk. So there's perfectionism. So like you said, fear that you're not good enough. And if you try and be perfect, you'll never be good enough. So all or nothing thinking. Thinking you'll never be loved or you'll always fail. Pessimism, always worrying about the worst case scenario. Again, like I said, always worrying that people dislike you, or that would be an example of a worst case scenario. As you said, I think media and comparing yourself to others. It can, call you names, and it can cause you to project negativity onto others. I had quite a vicious, well, I did have a very vicious inner critic, and you know, the people that I grew up around also had very vicious inner critics, and as I say, they were projecting that onto me. And I also was quite narcissistic, grew up to be quite narcissistic myself, and I used to project that onto other people as well. And it can cause you to fear attack, as again, if you're growing up in an environment where you're constantly being put down, you expect people to put you down. So you develop a negative view of the world, think everyone is out to get you or harm you. Everyone is talking about you behind your back. So what do you worry people are thinking or saying about you? Let me know in the chat box. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to come to that in a bit. Yep. Yes. False things when they don't know you. Yep. Yep. Excellent. Okay, so it's natural. We all need to feel accepted. Yeah, it can be, absolutely. It can cause us to suffer, extreme anxiety, extreme social anxiety. And yeah, it can cause us all sorts of problems at work. If we've got a dysfunctional family, we're going to have a dysfunctional work life. Work is just a projection of the family situation. So if our ancestors were not accepted as part of the tribe, they would have been outcast and eaten by predators, or they would have starved to death. So as humans, we have evolved to survive in groups, and we need to fit into those groups. And having the trust and respect of others in the group is still a measure of success. So when we become overly concerned with what others think of us, it's likely because we have learned that love and acceptance is conditional, that we'll only be loved and accepted if we fulfill certain family roles. As I say, my family role was like as a scapegoat, and I expect a lot of you would experience the same thing, but we can also be carers or caretakers. And if we don't fulfill those roles, we don't get love and acceptance. So one way that we can cultivate self-acceptance and self-love is through inner child healing, through reconnecting with and nurturing our inner child. And Brené Brown said, healthy striving is self-focused. So when you're thinking, how can I improve? You're focusing on yourself. When you have issues with perfectionism, you're focusing on other people and you're thinking, what will they think? So it's good to look at it as though you're better than you were yesterday. Yep. Was your role as a carer, Pat? Is that how you sort of fitted in, would you say? Yep. So there's always a caring role, big sister or nurse. Okay, so what can we do? Yep. So what can we do to stop caring what other people think? One thing we can do is to take more interest in other people. Most people are in the same boat. They are more worried about how we perceive them than how they perceive us. So focus on and take an interest in them. When you meet with or speak with people, ask them questions about themselves. Be very present and focused on them. Notice most people like to talk about themselves and they want to feel accepted. So what people think of you has more to do with them than it does with you. Don't be judgmental. So as I said previously, we often project our disowned parts and insecurities onto others. So do work to reintegrate these parts and stay away from gossip. And do what you want to do. If you're not happy in your work or career, are you doing it because someone else wants you to? Are you doing your career role because it's what your parents wanted you to do? So is it to keep a partner happy? So ask yourself what you'd really like to do. What would you do if anything was possible? And not everyone will like you. So we need to accept that. If people don't like you or think something's wrong with you, it's likely they have the problem. It's likely that they're projecting. Just need to accept that and move on. And stop trying. When we put too much effort into being liked, it makes other people wonder if there's something wrong with us. And if we're not being authentic to who we are, if we're trying to be a chameleon, we're trying to fit in with other people and meet their expectations, people pick up on that, and it creates what's called the uncanny valley effect. And they notice that with AI, if they make the robots or whatever they are, androids, I don't know, if they make them too lifelike, it weirds people out because they know that they know that they're not. And it creates what's called the uncanny valley effect. Likewise, if we're being false, people can pick up on that and it will make them feel weird. So stop trying. Stop putting too much effort into being liked. So question. Who wants to try some hypnosis? Let me know in the chat box if you want to try some hypnosis. Yep. Excellent. Yes. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a common problem, Dave. Okay, so yep. Okay, so the emotional part of your brain can't tell the difference between a real or imagined event. So by using hypnosis, we can visualize ourselves the way we want to be. And this builds new neural pathways in the brain. And we can start to associate with ourselves that way. The more we envisage ourselves the way we want to be, the stronger these neural pathways become. So let me know in the chat box, how would you like to be in those situations? We could wave a magic wand and stop you caring what other people think. What would your life look like? Let me know in the chat box. Not to feel hurt if someone insults or criticizes you. Yep. You'd want to feel invisible. You want to feel free and peaceful, confident in your decisions, at peace, calm and relaxed, more peaceful, at ease. Yep. No drama, to trust yourself, more confident, courageous. Stop worrying about everyone else. Yep. Learn to say no if you really don't want to do something. Yep. But that's a boundary. That's a boundary issue. Okay. So, who's experienced hypnosis before? Let me know in the chat box if you've experienced hypnosis before. Yep. No. Yes. Yep. So most of you have. No. Yes, it's wonderful. Thank you, Margaret. Only in my workshops. Okay, so a lot of you haven't. So hypnosis is a state of focused attention. It can be a very relaxing state with the power of suggestion. It usually is a relaxing state, but it doesn't have to be relaxing. If you've ever driven somewhere, got into your destination and not remembered the journey, that would be a state of hypnosis. If you've ever been watching TV, zoned out, and then the program or film that you were watching came to an end and you realized it was time for bed, that would be a state of hypnosis. Have you ever been reading a book and lost track of time? That would be a state of hypnosis. If you've ever been playing a sport and got a small cut or injury, not noticed, again, that would be a state of hypnosis. So it's a focused state of attention. So just make yourselves comfortable. Sit back, and if you suffer with epilepsy, it's not recommended that you experience hypnosis. So if you do, feel free to leave now. If you don't, sit back and make yourself comfortable. Just allow yourself to begin to relax. Maybe you can imagine what it would feel like if a warm wave of comfort was to flow down your body, all the way down from the very top of your head to the tips of your toes. And in a moment, I'm going to start counting from 10 down to 1. As I count from 10 down to 1, I'd like you to allow yourself to become more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. It could be almost as though there's a tiny voice in the back of your head telling you to just relax, relax, relax. And if any thoughts should come into your mind, you can just set them off to one side, and your conscious mind can drift and dream. As I'm counting from 10 down to 1, I'm going to be counting the other way from 1 to 10. With every number I count upwards, you can allow your unconscious mind to begin to take more control. So I begin counting now. 10. Just imagine that relaxation flowing down your body. Maybe you can imagine all the tiny muscles in your forehead just relaxing and flattening out. 1. Allowing your unconscious mind to start to awaken. 9 and 2, and your unconscious mind knows just how much to hold on and how much to let go. As a child, you learn to crawl and to push yourself up and hang on to furniture. When you're ready to take those first steps, unconscious mind was there to allow you to relax, start to separate from your parents, go your own way. 8. Maybe you can feel that relaxation flowing down into your eyes, eyelids. 3 and 7, as that relaxation flows down into your cheeks. Become aware of the air at the very tip of your nose. See if you can notice any difference between the in-breath and the out-breath. 3 and 7. Allowing more comfort and flowing. Breathing all the way down into your stomach. Just notice your stomach rising as you're breathing in, falling as you breathe out. 4, 6, drifting deeper, deeper. 5, 4, 6, going the other way now. Allowing your conscious mind and your body to reach new levels of relaxation, of trance. Your unconscious becomes more alert and more awake. And at all times, part of you will be aware of everything I say, everything that's going on. Whilst the other part of you can just drift and dream. 3 and 7. 2 and maybe you can feel that relaxation flowing down your body, flowing down your arms, into your hand. Maybe you can sense down into those hands. Notice if you can feel any difference in those hands. Maybe one hand feels slightly warmer than the other hand. One hand can feel lighter. Just sensing down into those hands. 2 and 7. 1 and 8. Wonder if you can remember the most relaxed you've ever been. Just allowing yourself to experience that comfort. After 1 comes 0. I wonder if you can imagine yourself drifting through the middle of that 0 into velvety, soft nothingness. A place where anything is possible. then 8, 9, 10, just completely, totally letting go. With your conscious mind completely, totally relaxed, at ease, you can allow your unconscious mind to begin thinking about that old problem. Maybe thinking about how you may have felt judged in the past. And in a moment, allow you to imagine yourself in an elevator, safely and securely, standing in an elevator. And on that elevator, there are 3 buttons. The first button is labeled with the number 2. When you press this button, you're going to double the relaxation that you're experiencing now. You can allow even more relaxation to flow into your body. Then after we've pressed the number 2 button, we're going to press the button labeled number 1. I wonder if you can imagine that relaxation doubling once again, allowing you to experience new depths of comfort. And after 1 is the button labeled B. And when you push this button, you're going to go all the way down into the very basement of relaxation, going all the way down into a place where anything is possible. So I'd like you to just press that button labeled 3 now. Feel yourself drifting deeper and deeper down. Maybe you can notice your arms and legs becoming loose, limp, floppy. Some people get a floating feeling. And then pushing that button labeled 1. Doubling that relaxation once again. And then the button labeled B. Going all the way down into the very depths of relaxation, of comfort. A place where anything is possible. Just allowing yourself to completely detach, let go. Feeling safe, secure in hypnosis. That's right, just take a moment. Allow yourself to enjoy that now. Feeling completely calm and relaxed. As you experience that, I wonder if you can allow yourself to begin to imagine what it would be like if you could allow this relaxation to manifest more and more in your everyday life. Allowing yourself to experience just a little bit more comfort in those old situations. Allowing yourself to be more resilient, more at peace, more relaxed, experiencing less drama, trusting yourself. Maybe you can see images in your mind. Maybe you can see how you'll be able to interact differently with people. Maybe people that you meet, people that you know, new people. Maybe trusting your decisions more. As you allow yourself to experience that. I wonder if you can begin to consider how your life would change if you care just a little less about what people think. I was reading a story about a farmer and his son, and they had a donkey that they wanted to take to market. And between their village and the town where the market was, they had to pass through 3 other villages. So they set out and they began walking. They're walking through the first village with the donkey, and the villagers came out and started laughing at them. They said, "Look at those fools with a perfectly good animal, and they're both walking." So the farmer picked up his son and placed him on the donkey and They continued on to the next village. And in the next village, they passed some villagers and they said, "Look at that horrible boy riding on the donkey whilst his father has to struggle along beside." So the farmer took his son off the donkey and got on it himself. Then they came to the third village. So they're going through the third village. Some villagers said, "Look at that horrible man making his son walk whilst he rides on the donkey." So the farmer picked his son up and placed him on the donkey as well. And just before the town, they met some travellers. And one of the travellers said to the farmer, "Is that donkey for sale?" And the farmer said, "Yes, would you like to buy it?" And the traveller said, "No, not looking at the way you're treating it. The poor animal must be worked to death." So they decided to carry the donkey, and they got a stick and they got some rope. And they tied its legs up and they carried it between them. And just as they were coming into the town where the market was, there was a bridge with a river underneath. So crossing the bridge, the donkey began to kick and the ropes became loose. It got free and jumped into the river and got washed away. So just allowing yourself to continue connecting with the version of you that doesn't worry what other people think. Maybe allowing yourself to feel more freedom, more confident. How will you be standing? How will you be interacting with people? Really allow yourself to connect with that future version. What will your life be like with healthier boundaries? Really experience that now. And then when you're ready, you can allow your eyes to open, come back to the present. And over the coming days and weeks, you can start to notice that things can begin to change, that you can begin to change. You can wonder what you'll notice when you notice those changes taking effect. Maybe you'd like to stretch and yawn. Notice how good you feel. Let me know in the chat box if you like that. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. I'm glad to see that you all like that. Okay. A bit tired. Can't stop yawning. Excellent. Calm and less tense. Thank you. Okay, so that's the end of tonight's workshop. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat box. I didn't say the donkey died, I said he got swept away. So, I offer everyone who comes to my workshops a free therapy / coaching session. So if you'd like to take me up on that, you can book a time there, completely no obligation. Any advice for releasing the judgments of Narc parents? Yes, to basically practice mindfulness, to meditate, to sit peacefully. So kind of meditation I like to do is a Vipassana kind of style. So you'd sit cross-legged with your back straight, place your hands in your lap or on your knees, and focus on your breath. Breathe all the way into your stomach, and as your stomach rises, you'd say to yourself, falling. As it falls, you'd say to yourself, falling. If any thoughts come into your head, you just label them as thinking. You don't label them as good or bad. You just know it's all thoughts as equal. Because when we label thoughts as bad and we start to resist them, they become stronger. Carl Jung said, what resists not only persists, but gets stronger. If I tell you not to think of a pink elephant, the first thing that comes into your mind is a pink elephant. So when you try and resist these things, it makes them worse. So you just need to realize that you're not your thoughts and stop giving them energy. Does that answer the question? Obviously, I would also recommend inner child work. And yeah, as I said, if you want to find out more about that, you can book a free session with me there. And my mindfulness workshop is also on my YouTube channel, where I go more into detail with regards to mindfulness. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you will find it there. Thanks, Pat. My YouTube channel is coming up in the chat box in a moment. One moment, please. I'm going to find the actual mindfulness workshop. One sec. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dee. So there's my mindfulness workshop there. I also have a negative self-talk workshop, which I shall give you the link to. One moment. Thank you, Maria. So there's my negative self-talk workshop. And under, you can't see any links. Can anyone else see the links? No? Oh, everyone in the meeting. Okay, there's one of the workshops. One moment. There's the link to book a free session with me. I will, I've recorded the workshop, so I'll put it on my YouTube channel. And if you want to watch it again, you can see it there. So, yes, one moment. Let me find the mindfulness workshop again. Thank you, Maria. Okay, excellent. Does anyone have any other questions? Thank you, Pat. Thank you for coming. Does anyone have any other questions? Let me know. Does it work if you fall asleep? There's different views on that. Some people say hypnosis doesn't work if you fall asleep. Others say that the unconscious mind is always listening. For example, you could be in the deepest sleep, but if an alarm or something goes off, you'll always hear it. So there's some part of you that's always listening, always aware. So, as I say, some people say that it does work if you fall asleep. Do I think it? I do believe it works if you fall asleep, to be honest, yes, but there's no evidence for or against. So, yeah, any other questions?